Hey guys, just got this in today. Would like to do an unboxing review. This is the RF power meter by ImmersionRC. This is the Rotor Riot edition. This is black colored. There's another version of this same meter in red, also made by ImmersionRC, but it is not Rotor Riot edition. And I will show you what's different about them. They're essentially, I would assume they're the same. I think they're the same. They're just the content is different and packaging slightly different. So I'm excited. I've been waiting for this. I got a pretty good deal on this. I'll post the link where I got it in the description, and let's do unpacking and just subscribe, and I'll get some more videos of this testing and kind of going over the manual and details how to use it. So yeah, let's start. Okay, it's sealed like an iPhone sealed. I'm just gonna pry this open. Yeah, if I can get this open. All right. All right, this is done. Okay, slides out like this. See what's inside. Just a soft paper. Okay, this is what's inside. We actually got our power meter. Very similar in shape to the regular Rotor Riot red. Guarantee you they're the same. There's a little sticker, the battery sticker. The battery's inside, which is good. Let's get. This is the standard SMA meter. This is for distance testing, so that way we don't have to connect it to an actual VTX. We can just get it close by. It's not as accurate, but it gets the job done if you're in the park or something flying. Alright, let's get this. So it looks like it's a adapter here. Again, the SMA adapter. Useful to connect and test. I don't know if you guys see it. Just to show you, both sides are the same. Alright, and let's grab one of these. Again, an SMA. Another type of adapter. And this is the UFL. This is the one I'm using on my TBS Unify Nano Pro32. Yeah, this is what I will be testing. So one note, the difference from the regular ImmersionRC, the red, it only comes with one of these. So what you will get is basically this right here. So you will kind of have to come up with your own adapters, build them yourself, or buy them separately. So it's nice touch, nice feature. And I got this cheaper than I would have paid for the regular red version. Okay, I'm going to show you what I'm going to test it on. So this is my, I guess, work in progress. So this is the TBS Unify Nano Pro 32. I will be testing the power outputs, and as you know, and I have a video of this, how to test, not how to test, how to change the power manually. You can actually do it through your transmitter, but I just did it manually. The cool thing is this power meter comes with, again, UFL connector, so I can just screw it on and get a more accurate testing rather than just kind of bringing it close by like this and hoping I get a somewhat accurate reading. I know from the factory, I think it's plus or minus half a decibel accuracy, and it does go up to the plus 30 dB. I believe plus 30 dB, that's approximately roughly 1,000 milliwatt. So my VTX, my TBS Nano Pro32 goes up to 400, so I should be good there. And I know some other VTXs go beyond 400, like 800. I'm not sure about 1000, haven't researched that yet, but it definitely good for the micro whoop and micro quad type of situation, at least for now. I don't know how long, because technology changes, as we know. This soon potentially could couple maybe half a year we'll see 1000 milliwatt, even though you do have to have a ham license to operate at these frequencies, so just kind of an FYI. So yeah, nice little device. So let me kind of look over the packaging again. It didn't come with any manual, which was surprising. So I guess this is for mostly for space saving, weight, etc. And in our day and age, everybody can download this. I know they have a manual on their website, so I will be downloading that. So we can look into the more specifics and details. So yeah, we'll look at details. Let me adjust the camera, get the manual, and I will be back. I also probably will charge this so we can go through the menu functions and everything. Alright, be right back. Alright guys, so I downloaded the manual. I made sure the battery is charged. So let's get into the menu, and I will show you what I learned so far. It's pretty cool. So to turn it on, what I'll do, I just press it simply, the little power on button. Now you get presented with a bunch of numbers here. So your battery up on top left, your peak or average, and then I will get into that later, is on your top right. Your larger numbers are dB numbers. Your smaller numbers are actually a milliwatt numbers. And then you have your frequency on the bottom left, and then you have your duty cycle percentages from 0 to 100. Okay, so let me show you the modes. It has 3 modes. So right now we're in the first mode. Basically shows you the dB and milliwatt. So we can get into the basically power scope display mode, and that's for the radio control transmitters that have a pulse transmission, and that's where you select your span in milliseconds. If you need to measure your transmit power from your radio controller for the RC, that's what you would use to kind of gauge each of your antennas and its performance. The third mode is the Sniffer Mode. What they call it is essentially what you do is you attach the okay, where's my little sniffer antenna? My sniffer antenna, let me get it, 1 second. There we go. So this is my sniffer antenna that came with it. So you attach that, and what you would do, you would basically kind of, I don't know, like an old school James Bond movies, right? You can just wand it down like a magic wand and see the frequency, not the frequency, the power output of each. So if you have several quads in a row, like on a competition, and you want to kind of gauge them real quick what the power is set to, just kind of go to each quad and just measure quickly. It's not as precise as attaching it directly, but it gives you a kind of a quick idea of what it is. So the way it works is you have the little power bar meter here that goes up and down depending on the power, and you see you define your 0 here. So what you would do is you would attach this to a known quad that, let's say it's a 25 milliwatt, you would attach that directly, or just kind of maybe not attach, even you can just lay it down next to it, and you would define the power, and then you kind of just push the power, define your 0 power, and after you define your 0, that way it gives you kind of an idea how far off the rest of the measurements are. Okay, so in this instance I have defined the 0 from the factory here. So and in order for us to define the 0 line, we just push the up here, and you see right there it says 0 defined, and push it again, 0 defined. Okay, so once we get it to a quad, hold it down, you got your 25 milliwatt for example, and then you just push it up, you find your 0, and now those little arrows right there, they will get set to this, so it'll tell you how far off from that defined number we are. Okay, so these are the 3 modes. What I care about, specifically for my case, is the mode 1. Just want to know the output power over time, and I will be measuring my TBS Unify Nano with this, which supposedly outputs 400 milliwatt. We'll see. Okay, and one other thing I didn't go into is the menu. So to get in the menu, just push down on that white button, and you got your frequency selection. So you just go in, and up and down is your selection right there, and you have the little hollow kind of circle in there. So once I push on it, it kind of becomes filled. So now I can define my power, which right now 5850. I can go to 6000. So I have TBS Unify Nano set at 5865 right now. So I'm gonna set my RF power meter to 5850, as close as I can get. Then I'm going to get out of the frequency change mode, and then I'm going to go down. And right now I have it selected as peak, which peak basically it will show you the maximum output power, not the average. So what I want to do, since I'm measuring the video output power, which is linear output over time, I want the average, not the peak. Peak, I would switch it to peak if I measure the radio control frequency. So let's do that. Let's select average. We got selected average, attenuation, and span, which are 2 kind of features. As if you want to measure anything above 1000 milliwatt, 1 watt, you usually put attenuator in line where you're measuring, and you just define your attenuation dBs inside this meter, so it kind of knows if there's any attenuation in line. So this is what you would use attenuation for, and you just kind of go and increase your dB here. Span, this is for the pulse measuring mode. Again, this is for radio control. That's a power scope display mode, where you just measured your radio control transmitter frequency and how often you want it to sample. Okay. Right now it's defined as 40 milliseconds. If you want to go quicker or slower, 80, 40, you can just define. Doesn't really matter. Just gives you a better kind of a granularity of your frequency. If you want to kind of increase that span or decrease it, depends how granular you want to be. So that's basically, you have to play around with it. Just start with 40 or 80, and then just go plus or minus from there. All right, let's go back. So we have 5850 selected here, and then our battery's full. We have it at average. We have just a linear antenna connected right now. So what I would do is, right now, disconnect my linear antenna. I'm going to bring in my TBS Unify Nano Pro here. This guy right there, this little teeny guy. Let me see if I can set that up. And this is my work in progress drone, or donor drone per se, so I'm just been playing around with it, not really flying it yet. I want to do the UFL connector here, so I'm going to get the UFL connected here. I disconnected the original. That's what the original looks like. It came with the original UFL. So I'm just going to connect the power meter UFL. So I got the SMA, which is nice. Okay, just gonna screw that on. Alright, got that screwed on. Let's see. let's get the battery out of the way. What I want to do is I kind of want to see so you guys can see it. Alright. Okay, so let me plug it in. Right now it's set at 400 milliwatt. I have it set at the maximum power, and in my other videos on the channel you will be able to see how to set the power manually. Okay, let's plug in the battery and see the output. Let's make sure this thing does not flip and it's tight enough. Okay, ready. Alright, plugged in. Good there. Got 500 milliwatt right now. 512, 5.8. Guess what? It gets hot. This thing gets hot. And the hotter it gets, the lower power. But it started around 500 milliwatt, which is pretty impressive. That means if I can keep that thing cool, I can potentially get 500 milliwatt. I doubt it, I don't know. So yeah, just set the manual for the power meter says do not use it for longer than 30 seconds if it's above 25 dB, I believe. So just kind of be warned. Sometimes it gets overheated because TBS Nano gets pretty hot. But the cool thing is you can see the power changes on if that thing gets cold, if the VTX gets cooler. So I got my a heat transmission pad. So check it out. 422 right now. 419. It's going down. So I'm going to connect it to this. I'm just going to press down on it. See how it went up? 436, 440. I don't know if you guys can see it or not. Well, let me scoot this a little bit. But it just kind of tells you that if you do want range, you might want to use some kind of heat transmission on your VTX. It definitely improves the power. Right, well, I'm excited that the VTX is actually producing what it says it does. Just sometimes, you know, you get like a Immersion, you get 100 milliwatt. It's not really 100. Or maybe it's 100 for 5 seconds and then it drops. But this is pretty consistent. I like it. So 450 at the heated. Okay, the connector kind of disconnected here. Alright, I like it. I'm going to disconnect it right now, just so we're not trying to burn anything here. Power meter. And I'm going to disconnect the drone as well. Alright, so yeah, pretty cool tool. I like it. I like that it came with a bunch of connectors, which is a plus. Let me test this sniffer and see how far off it is. So we said what it was around 500 at the beginning. Since it's a little hot, so I'm expecting for it to change. So that'd be slightly lower. We ended up at what, 440, I believe. All right. Let's see how sniffer operates. Let's connect that back up. Alright, that thing turned off. Let's turn it on. Hopefully guys, you see the numbers. Alright, I connected it. Alright, let's see. Boom. Okay, I don't see anything. Alright, this is really all over the place. 200. Like 200 right now. Wow. 200, 212. That's crazy. Does it matter where I measure? Alright, right here. 360, 400, 425. Okay, yeah, right there. So it looks like the closer I move to the actual SMA connector, the more power I get. The farther away from it I get, the less power I get. Okay, so right here I can just, it looks like on the top it doesn't measure, so the optimal spot looks like right there, halfway, and on the metal part. Alright, it gets pretty hot. I can already feel it. Let me see if I can dissipate some heat from it. Yeah. Alright, dissipating some heat. Should probably move that canopy out of the way. Just that rubber piece is in the way. Alright, let's see. 200. 200 right now. There you go. Nothing. 50. Okay, so 180, 200, 230. Alright, 230. Alright. Okay. Alright, so I can't seem to get above 200. I was getting 400 just a second ago. Like right now, I'm getting almost 300, 290, 270, yep, 300 right there. 450 right there if I hold it like this, 450. So yeah, not really accurate in the sniffer mode. It's all over the place. Curious how they test it. So I'm probably gonna stick with just connecting it via directly and get more accurate power. And I don't know if it's 5.8, so I don't know if there's Wi-Fi all over the place or changing. I mean, I don't know if Bluetooth affects it, but yeah. So hopefully, guys, you saw that power meter in action, and it helped you. Again, I will send the link. Not send. I will add the link to the manual, and yeah. Overall, I'm happy. Now I can test the VTXs. So, and then probably spend another $20 on the attenuator, and just if we do go beyond 1000 milliwatt, 1300, I can use the attenuator and just still use that thing, which is nice. Don't have to buy anything, another tool. Couple bucks saved, right? Not couple, more than that. All right. Hopefully this was helpful.